G'day guys, Matt here, welcome to a new video. This is going to be a quest video on Raw Travel, and I decided to do this because it actually gives a pretty decent reward. It allows you to have more workers in the mini game of Miscellaneous Island. Now, to do this quest, you need a couple of requirements, and they are 40 agility and 40 slayer, and able to kill a level 150 enemy, which I think is a snake monster. So it is recommended that you bring a anti-poison, or maybe super, or maybe a poison surge, or I just brought a super attack and super defense, a couple pieces of food, and a spec weapon. Now, during the quest, you're going to need a rope, which you can obtain during the quest, and I think you need to mine some coal, so I just brought a better pickaxe. But to start the quest, just talk to Advisor Grim, just say g'day to him, and go, has anything recently happened to the kingdom? And he'll say that there's a war going on between this fella and the chick next door, which is the queen. And because this guy wants to rule the whole island, and the other chick's like, nah, like CBF, moving out. So that's sort of causing conflict. Now you need to talk to either the prince or the princess. I'm going to talk to the princess because I'm technically engaged to her, so I guess that would make sense story-wise. I don't know, you can do what you want. So talk to this guy, or this chick, sorry, which is just north. I think the prince is just like south. And they'll give you a bit of a backstory on what's going on, eh? So just flow through the dialogue. Should be cutscene going on. Alright, so after a whole bunch of talking, you need to talk to the king again. So just say, hey, what's going on with the kingdom? Why is there fighting? And he'll try to avoid the subject, but he has told you that there will be a couple of things stolen through the kingdom. So you need to talk to a couple of the citizens on the island to see what's going on. So just flow through it. There's just a lot of talking in this quest. There's not much going on in terms of combat other than the final boss, I think. So yeah, after, let's just go and find some of the citizens. Alright guys, so the next thing you need to do is talk to the gardener. She's located just outside the castle, near the herb pouch, or the flax. And just go to Raw Trouble, and this backstory that she'll give you is saying that a couple of the soldiers from the Queen's side went up to her and a couple of the other traders and demanded a resource. They refused, and then the next day a couple of their items were stolen. So you need to report back to the king. So let's do that right now. So after you talk to the king, he's pretty pissed off, so he wants you to talk to the queen. Go back to the queen, which is the other side of the island. So after talking to the queen, she'll tell you her story, and basically the same thing happened on this side. A couple of items of her citizens have gone missing, and you need to find out who's been stealing them. So you need to talk to the citizens on her side of the island, and I'll show you the fastest person to go to. Alright, so the person you need to talk to is Matilda, which is outside the castle in the market. She'll tell you basically the same story as the gardener did on the other side, except that instead of the Queen's soldiers or people stealing their stuff, it is the people on the miscellaneous side, so or the King's soldiers stealing. So you need to report back to the Queen and tell her what you found. So after you report back to the Queen, she'll tell you that there seems to be a misunderstanding between the two sides. Each side thinks that they're stealing from one another, and that she wants to finally rule over the King, but she has no army, so apparently I think you've got to help her out. Squirrel of Fortune, guys, let's do this. Come on, 10 mil, 10 mil, 10 mil, 10 mil, 10 mil, and we're gonna get XP lamp in ranged. Not too bad, not too bad. So the next one is prayer. Oh, that might have been alright a few months ago. Bandos. Oh, I need one of those. Let's do it, let's do it. Bang! Let's do this. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. No, I'm definitely not gonna get it. Come on. If I get a dragon chain body. And logs, yes, logs. Claim that. And we're done. So let's go back to the king. So definitely do not go to the Grand Exchange. We need to go to Miscellaneous. How much XP did we get? Actually, don't mind. I got to get ranged. Yes. Awesome stuff. Alright, talk to this fella. You spoken. Yep. Things are going down. It's a bit of an awkward situation between one side and the other. But you're basically going to tell them that they're planning to invade, and they don't even have an army as well, so you need to go to the dungeon, and I'll explain to you later on how to get to the dungeon. You just need to get through all this dialogue basically. Alright, so to get to the dungeon you need to first speak to the advisor again and ask him that the king asked me to, talk to you and say what's going on. He'll say that there's a sailor that sells people from Relicar, and you need to talk to him and saying it hasn't been any suspicious characters walking around. So after you do that, you need to talk to that sailor in the docks area. Alright, so now you need to talk to the sailor in the Miscellanean Island. You cannot do this in Relicar, and you'll have the option is I'm looking for a sailor. No homo, but yeah. So you need to be able to identify something. He'll tell you that he has, and you need to go back to the king and get permission to enter the dungeons. See, my guy was like, what? I don't even know the dungeons in the game until I read the quest guide. So after you talk to the king, he'll give you a scroll which basically gives you permission to enter the dungeons. Go to the south west corner of the markets. So just go outside and just go basically south of the entrance and talk to the guard. Say that you got permission, because he's like, no, nobody's allowed to go in. You're like, nah man, I got a scroll. And he's like, oh sorry, go right in. And I'm like, yeah, so far out, it's taking way too long. Don't be eaten by monsters. Make sure you got a bit of gear on ya. Anti-poison, definitely bring that. A couple of potions, and maybe a spec weapon if you really want, and enter. So go east to the bar and talk to a dwarf named Donald. He'll basically explain to you that he's working on excavations, but the problem is that there's a terrible monster, which is basically that sea slug that threatens the crew. So he asks you to be able to kill it, and you say, yeah, I can do that for you, pretty sweet. But the problem is that the lift is also broken, so they basically make you try and fix the lift, which I'll explain right soon. This supply area, you need to go northwest of where you talk to the dwarf, and there should be two dwarves there named Third and Thoradin. Now you need to use a mining prop that the other dwarf gave you. Use it on this section here, and you're allowed to squeeze through the crevice without taking any damage. You need this in order to access the area. Now you need to gather 3 beams, 3 pulley beams, 5 pieces of coal, and a rope. And to do that, you just need to either mine, and the supply station is right here. Just take the engine, and once you do that, add the 5 pieces of coal into the engine. So I think you need to do that one by one. So once you have all your supplies, so 3 pulley beams and 3 normal beams, add them together and then attach them to the scaffold. So first of all you just add a normal one, then you attach 1 pulley beam to a beam, and that creates a longer one, and then just keep on going until basically you've reached a normal scaffold. You'll also need to add your rope into it. It's a bit confusing, but if you read the manual it will teach you how to do it. Next thing you need to do is take a normal beam and add it to the platform to fix the platform, and then take your engine and then put it basically onto the scaffold, and you should be done. So there you go, you've basically fixed everything, which this is probably the most pain in the ass bit of the whole quest. Once you finish fixing the lift, go up and make sure you take another rope. You actually take the lift up and grab that plank as well. That is very important. So enter the tunnels here, and then you'll arrive in this section. Just go east. Now there'll only be 1 rope, which is the way back, so you're going to need to activate or use your rope on that branch to be able to make that rope. So I've already done that because I got stuck and I was wondering where to go. So that's good. So I'm going to drop that because I don't need it. And I'm going to search the fire remains. Now there's going to be a burnt diary. Make sure you read that. So that's only giving you like 1 page. And keep it. Now what you need to do is you need to look at these rocks. And you need to activate your plank with it. And they'll allow you to travel all across. So basically like underground passage. I think that's the right quest where you travel along with the plank. So you're going to need that. And there's going to be like a careful like tricky shortcut where you got to like navigate through the dungeon without getting avalanched, because there's all these rocks like going down that. So you grab the second page, which is basically telling you a whole bunch of jargon. Now this got to be careful because you don't want to go too close to the edges. There's another page here. Just read that. Now these things, you gotta be careful. Don't step on them. If you step on them, you'll take damage. So just carefully navigate through them. They can inflict, I think, up to 90 damage. So just be, watch out. If you've got a bit of food, you should be alright. Maybe I should have brought an enhanced Excalibur if you do have one, in case you're afraid that you might accidentally click on it. So, I'm just adding pages to my book, and we're almost at the end of it. I'm just going to take my time and not go too close to the edge. So these things can fall on you if you don't. So what you want to do is just stick to the middle. Don't go too close to the side where you can see the rocks on the side of the wall. So yeah, don't go on this side or this side, just go straight in the middle, and you should be sweet. Just get that page. So squeeze through the crevice and should be a cutscene. You must read the whole book of the diary you found, and a cutscene should happen. So after a massive cutscene, which takes about, I don't know, a few minutes, I reckon. I didn't want to record the whole thing because it's just a waste of time. You're going to need to prepare for the final battle. So just make sure that you got your bit of food, you got a bit of, protection and all that, and you got to try and fight the final boss. Now the final boss should be around here somewhere. Just travel along the whole dungeon, and then you have to go through the caravan. I mean, you can see that we're going closer. You can see all the snakes and that. Apparently it's weak to slash. It's a multi-combat zone, so my crafting this time is not going to be useful. But just, I'm just going to pot up, drink my anti-poison, turmoil, protection, and then, it should be pretty good. There it is. Basically, it requires me to have no food. I'm just going to crossy it. Bam. Actually still does decent damage. Look at that, very easy. You can range it, you can mage it. If you're going to mage it or range it, use protect from missiles, and take the box, sorry, which contains all the stuff, and then head back. As soon as you head down here, a guard sees you, good timing, I guess, and he'll take you above the hole. So just go through the whole exit. Basically, it's like a little shortcut, which is good. Saves it like heaps of time going the way back. After you reach the surface, you're going to need to speak to the Queen, explain to the news about the teenagers and all that. This mystery box, all this heavy box is actually useful, so they'll just tell them that they're the ones that have been stealing the things, and about the sea monster and all that stuff, and how it wasn't the other side of the kingdom stealing all the things. So that's everything that the people stole, so which is good. And you're going to need to explain this to the other person, the king on the other side. So you might as well just use your miscellaneous teleport, which is a lot faster, and speak to the king. Speak to the king. He always looks like he's drunk. He's like, "Hey, what's going on? The soldiers?" Nah, you basically just tell them that you're both idiots. That's what I would say to them. And those damn meddling kids. Damn kids. So the quest should be done right about now. It's very easy. It's exactly the same as the other miscellaneous quests, just a whole bunch of running and talking to people. Actually, this one had a bit of combat, which is surprising, but yeah, very simple. Anyone can really do this, and it has such a good advantage. It increases all your resources that your subjects get, so that'd be awesome. There's a lot of dialogue. Thank God for the spacebar. But yeah, this should wrap it up right now. There we go. I have finished Royal Trouble quest. I've received 1 quest point, 20k coins, 5k agility, slate, and constitution XP, and increased resources from miscellanea. Now that gives me quest points of 227, which is always awesome. And yeah, that bottom bit's definitely the main thing. So after that, and you get like a little mini achievement, which is awesome. So after that, you want to go to Advice of Grim and say that extra boost. That is what you can put towards other resources. So I'm going to put all mine to herbs and then wood. So I think that's the best way. Let me know in any of the comments what you think and what you actually do put your resources on. So yeah, that's about it, guys. So thanks, guys, and I'll catch you next time.